History is a story we piece together from clues, artifacts, and educated guesses. For decades, we thought we knew when the first Americans arrived, but sometimes a single discovery can upend everything. In the brilliant white dunes of New Mexico's White Sands National Park, the ground held a secret that would rewrite our past. Beneath the shifting sands, ancient footprints were preserved evidence of people here far earlier than anyone believed possible. These weren't just any footprints, they belonged to the earliest known Americans, dating back to a time once thought impossible for human presence. The discovery happened not in a tomb or city, but on the edge of a vanished lake called Alkali Flat. This find pushes back the timeline of human arrival in the Americas by thousands of years. Imagine learning the pyramids were built centuries earlier than we thought. This is that kind of revelation. The story of America's first people just got much older and more mysterious. How does a discovery like this happen? It starts with a sharp eye and a lot of science. Someone notices a subtle depression in the ground, a shape that looks just a little too human. What follows is a scientific investigation to unlock the secrets hidden in the earth. We're about to follow these ancient tracks and see where they lead. The destination will change how you think about America's story forever. The story begins with David Bustos, a park manager who noticed ghostly impressions in the ground after wind and rain. These impressions appeared on the edge of what was once Lake Otero, a massive Ice Age lake. The tracks, thousands of them, stretch for miles, forming clear paths walked by people day after day. It's a snapshot of a vibrant community, frozen in time. The mud captured perfect prints, and the gypsum sand preserved them for millennia. But these weren't just human footprints. Tracks of mammoths, giant sloths, dire wolves, and camels mingled with them. This was a thriving Ice Age ecosystem, not just a place people passed through. The footprints tell a story of humans living alongside megafauna, navigating a world full of life and danger. The team realized they had something extraordinary, but one question mattered most: how old were these tracks? If they were just a few thousand years old, it would be interesting. But if they were much older, it could change everything. The tracks were fleeting. Once exposed, they would quickly erode. The race was on to study, document, and most importantly, date them. The answer was hidden in the footprints themselves. What they found would shake the foundations of American archaeology. The secret to their age was trapped in the layers beneath their feet. How do you date a footprint? The answer lay in tiny seeds pressed between the layers of ancient mud. As people and animals walked across the flats, they trapped seeds from ditch grass that grew along the lakeshore. These seeds could be radiocarbon dated, a method that measures the decay of carbon-14 to determine age. Scientists found seeds directly above and below the human footprints, locking the tracks in time. The seeds were sent to a lab, and the results were astonishing. The footprints were between 21,000 and 23,000 years old. This was far older than anyone expected. To confirm, the team used another method, optically stimulated luminescence, to date the last time the sand saw sunlight. Both methods agreed. People walked here during the height of the last ice age. This was the last glacial maximum, when ice sheets covered much of North America. The evidence was overwhelming. Humans were present in the Americas thousands of years before the accepted timeline. This discovery would force archaeologists to rethink everything. The past was much deeper than anyone had imagined. The story of the first Americans had just been rewritten. For nearly a century, the Clovis first theory dominated American archaeology. It claimed the first Americans arrived around 13,000 years ago, following an ice-free corridor from Siberia. Clovis points were found across North America, supporting this timeline. But the White Sands footprints, dated to 23,000 years ago, shatter this theory. People were in New Mexico long before the ice-free corridor existed. They must have arrived by a different route, perhaps along the Pacific coast, using boats and coastal refuges. This discovery forces us to throw out the old timeline and start anew. The Clovis people were not the first pioneers, but just one chapter in a much longer story. The White Sands footprints are the prologue we never knew existed. It suggests humans adapted and survived in the Americas during the harshest part of the Ice Age. The peopling of the Americas is now a far more complex and ancient tale. The old story is gone, a new one is just beginning. The footprints are our oldest evidence yet of life on this continent. These footprints are more than proof of ancient presence. They're windows into daily life. Most tracks belong to teenagers and children, suggesting young people were the most active. The prints reveal families, not just hunters. People fetching water, gathering food, or playing. One trackway shows an adult, likely a woman, walking over a mile with a child. The child's prints appear and disappear as they're carried and set down, a timeless human moment. Other tracks show humans interacting with Ice Age animals. In one case, a person stalked a giant ground sloth, stepping in its tracks as the animal made evasive turns. These are direct records of human-animal encounters, a dance of hunter and prey. We see evidence of running, groups walking together, and mammoths crossing the same paths. This was not an empty wilderness but a home. These people knew the land and its dangers intimately. The footprints show us not just that people were here but how they lived and survived. They connect us to lives lived 23,000 years ago. The past becomes personal, immediate, and real. The White Sands tracks are a living record of humanity's resilience. The White Sands discovery is a turning point in our understanding of American history. It proves humans survived in North America during the brutal Ice Age, far earlier than we thought. This isn't just a minor update, it's a complete rewrite of our origin story. Now archaeologists everywhere are re-examining old sites and searching for new clues. The footprints provide a solid anchor point in the deep past. Every new find will be measured against this timeline. The hunt is on to fill the 10,000-year gap between these ancient people and the Clovis culture. History is not finished, it's alive with discovery. The Earth still holds secrets waiting to be revealed. The White Sands footprints connect us to our deepest roots. The story is far from over. In fact, it's just beginning. The adventure has only just begun.